Hello, guys. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Natassia.
And we were wondering,
are you free for coffee?
Welcome, welcome.
Hey, guys.
Okay, Texas is in hot topics. As you
gosh.
guys know, Governor Greg Abbott has ordered the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services to investigate all trans children in any stage of transition and report their parents, doctors, and healthcare workers as child abusers. He threatens criminal penalties for failure to report, not just for licensed professionals who care for kids, but similar criminal penalties for members of the general public. So, but a little update on that. A judge has temporarily blocked the Texas investigation into families of trans kids. So right now it's kind of up in the air. It's blocked. So they're not doing it currently, but it's still an ongoing thing. Austin Independent School District, they tweeted, "We protect all kids at AISD no matter what, and that goes for our trans kids too." So there's been a lot of pushback with this. Here in Texas, we have just recently, there's been primary elections and we had people running, saying don't castrate our kids. So just an FYI to that, to set that record straight.
Yes, please.
Gender reassignment surgery typically happens at 18 plus years. Medication to delay puberty in transgender children is completely reversible. If you have kids that have, maybe played sports and got teeth knocked out, or, there's, some people are born without certain teeth, missing adult teeth. And so they have to have crown and bridge work. If you know that until they are 18 or even 21, you will have to have that replaced because they're still growing.
Yes, you're still
growing. That would be with this surgery too.
The same,
they don't want to,
which is why they will not do it.
Right, until you're an adult, because stuff wouldn't be grown,
right?
And you're still growing.
Yes.
So that, they want to wait till everything's done growing. So that is a complete fallacy.
Yeah, this is just,
no pun intended.
This is,
okay.
No, it's absolute fear mongering. That no one is having any parts removed or added at that age. No. This is a fun topic for me. I think I'm a little too close to both the flames. But as someone who worked at Children's Health here in Dallas, Texas, one of the largest hospitals, not just in the state, but also in the U.S. for children, never. No one's doing that. It's
just, the arrogance of this law really floors me, because I feel like this is something going on that nobody planned for.
Right.
Or nobody really wants to be doing.
Yeah.
You don't want your kids struggling in any capacity.
That's right.
A kid doesn't want to be confused or, struggling with their identity and their sexuality.
No parent wants to navigate these waters.
And so everybody is just doing the best they can.
Yes.
And I feel it's kind of like a funeral. Every time I've been to a funeral, somebody says, I really don't want to go. And I always respond, nobody does.
Yeah.
There's not one person that wants to go.
That's excited to be
Nobody
there.
wants to be there. But it is what it is, and you have to handle it. And that's these parents. They, when you have a baby, you have plans and dreams and you think that things are going to look a certain way.
Right.
And all of a sudden it's not. You planned a trip to Mexico and you wake up in Sweden. You pack swimsuits and flip-flops and you learn to speak Spanish and you are in Sweden.
Yes.
So stuff is not looking the same. So that's kind of where they are. And they're just trying to figure it out and navigate and do what's best for their kids. So for somebody to come in and on top of a very difficult situation
to criminalize,
add some more stuff to them.
And I want to point out, we've both lived in Texas. Well, I've lived in Texas my entire life. You lived in Texas a very long time. We are not this progressive or this aggressive towards child molesters. We're not this aggressive towards abusers. Child abusers. Mm-hmm. And just a little background, I happen to work for the Department of Family and Protective Services. There are genuinely, severely horrifically abused children. And I'm not going to go into that because that's not what this episode is about. But I do want to let the tip of the iceberg shine and tell you that genuinely bringing you to tears would be the minimum of some of the things that I see on a weekly basis. And so our jobs are difficult, and they're hard enough without this witch hunt for someone else's gratification.
Yes.
I'm concerned about
posturing. It's political
posturing.
It's
political posturing. That's it. And I'm more concerned about children who are genuinely being abused. Yeah, there's just Mm-mm.
So, like we said, these parents, these families are already in, at best, difficult situation, and
Absolutely.
This is just compounding that.
Yes.
So for you listening who don't know how you feel about it, or you have some, opinions, I would just implore you to do like Jesus and love God and love your neighbor.
Yes.
And sweep around your own front porch before you get to sweeping on somebody else's.
That's right.
And I think you can't go wrong doing that.
You can't.
Just love folks where they are.
Yes.
Love folks in the mess they are.
Yes.
And know that everybody's doing the best they can.
Yes. And genuinely.
And really, when you get to sweep around your porch, you got some stuff, honey.
Yes. And you know what? That'll keep you busy enough.
It'll keep you busy, and you can stay out of folks' business.
Yes. You have a full day's work just sweeping around your own front porch, because we all have something.
That's for you self-righteous folks. I'm not talking to the rest of y'all, but some of y'all that got some
yes.
Issues about that. That's to calm y'all
down. And hopefully
down.
We broke down some of the myths. Again, as someone who worked at Children's Health, there are no gender reassignment surgeries happening.
The hormones that they take to kind of postpone
once you stop
puberty,
them, that's it.
They are reversible. Yes. And sometimes, you guys, it was a long time ago that I was a kid, but it was hard back then. I can't imagine now.
Yes.
It
was hard before the internet.
Hard.
It was hard before all these damn apps.
Some kids are just trying to figure it out.
Yes.
And they just need a break.
Yes.
And give them time to figure it out. Let them.
Yes.
Let them figure it out.
Let them. Yes.
And they'll get there.
Children are made to pretend.
Yes.
Children are made to play.
Just let them alone. Let them be.
Yes. We're sexualizing, and we are making very adult situations out of children. And that's really a big part of the problem.
Yeah. So these are some stats for y'all. I love my stats. 42% of LGBTQ youth seriously considered suicide in the past year. 94% of LGBTQ youth reported that recent politics negatively impacted their mental health.
Gosh.
The American Academy of Pediatrics encourages doctors and parents to take a gender-affirming approach to a transgender child's care. So even physicians are saying this is what we do.
Best. Yeah.
So just to give you some tips, if you have some trans kids in your life, or you want to be supportive of trans kids and be an ally, respect their pronouns.
Yes.
He, she, them, however they want to be addressed, respect that. Allow them to change their name. Give access to safe spaces that affirm their gender identity. Do not make gender identity a political issue. Allow puberty blockers when age appropriate. So like we were saying, just let them be. Sometimes they just need a break and to just figure it out. And that's fine. It's completely reversible. If they decide that's not it, no harm, no foul. Do not ever put them in gender conversion therapy.
Please.
You guys.
Please do not.
No, just don't. Use a gender-affirming approach of love and care when you're dealing with these children. Allow them to play on sports teams that I can't even believe that's an issue,
But
it has been an issue. Allow them to use public restrooms that align with their gender identity. I don't know why they have those family restrooms.
Mhm.
I always use those.
They're always cleaner.
They're cleaner,
Yeah.
and just put
Thank you, Target.
complete stalls
in all of them.
In all of them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. Why don't we do that?
I don't understand that. And frankly, my husband loves stalls. And I was like, you guys don't have stalls? He's like, no.
Oh, yeah,
he was like, no, it's just, I said, so you could just look over. He's like, sometimes you do. I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Like, no, thank you.
Do not remove youth from loving, supportive homes, which is what Texas is trying to do.
Please
That's
don't.
crazy.
There are actual abused children.
Yes, that need those homes.
Yes.
So, yeah. Never forget that they are 100% made in the image of God.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So we're going to move on from we're off.
We're going to move on from angering
our, soapbox.
Yes, from angering me.
But Time magazine has named the second kindness ambassador, who is Orion. It's spelled Jean, and I'm not sure it's pronounced that, or it might be Jean. I'm not sure the pronunciation that he uses. As 2021's Kid of the Year. They just named it though for last year. He had a Race to Kindness initiative where he collected and donated 100,000 meals to food insecure families and delivered 500,000 books to kids in book deserts. And so it was in February. It was in conjunction with Time for Kids and Nickelodeon. And so Orion is from Texas. So we just want to give him a shout out.
We love you.
And he is the first Black person to get the award.
Okay, I didn't know he was from Texas. So I'm like,
so I believe he's 11 now.
Skinning and grinning over here.
So yay, Orion.
If we could all aspire to you. Yes. I certainly tip my hat to you.
Yes. So this is really what this episode, we just want to give a shout out to kindness.
To kindness, yes.
And that's never a bad thing.
No.
No matter how you feel about some of these political or what people have
turned political
mm-hmm. issues, you will never regret being kind.
Absolutely.
And at the very least, if you can just see it in your heart to be kind to people and people that are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
What a wonderful world we live in, wouldn't we?
Absolutely.
And,
if we made that our objective.
And that's part of loving your neighbor.
That's all of loving.
If you just break it down, and that's what Jesus did. He broke it down to those two things.
Yes.
Love God, love your neighbor.
Yep.
Some of y'all
notice it doesn't say love God, love yourself.
Right.
Which is the biggest issue of this. I don't like this. I don't understand this. I don't see how blah, blah, blah. Just love your neighbor.
There were no buts in that.
There were no buts.
It was just love them.
No, and there was no mistake made.
Love them.
Yes.
No matter what, no matter how you feel about it.
Right.
Just love folks.
Yes.
And just know that people are doing the best they can.
Right.
They're doing the best.
Absolutely.
And stay on your own fucking
porch. Seriously.
Please.
Seriously.
Just stay on your own porch, guys.
Can you imagine how enriched our own lives, and I just mean just in your little four walls, how enriched our lives would be if every time we thought about, I don't know why if we thought, I need to fix this thing in my own home. I've got this door that squeaks. Let me get the WD-40. I have, whatever it might be, whatever it is, if we just swept our own porch, baby, we would be so far along in life and potentially so happy. I think so many people are unhappy because you're involving yourself in things that they do not concern you. It's really not it's not your fight. It's not your issue. Just be kind.
That's it.
And what's that old saying? If you don't have nothing nice to say,
keep your mouth shut.
I can hear my mama over my shoulder right now. Natasha, Chantal, now if you don't have nothing nice to say, you don't have to say anything at all.
that would behoove you. That's good advice for anybody.
It's great advice for my 78-year-old mama who still says the same. I looked crazy the other day. It's Natassia. I said, okay, mama, I wasn't going to even say nothing. Because if you don't have nothing nice to say, I'm thinking, I am grown. Thank you. Didn't say it. I'm not dumb enough.
Everybody.
I'm not dumb enough to say it. But
pertains to
it
everybody.
does. Just sweep around your own.
So Orion gives us hope.
Yes.
That we can be kind despite politicians.
Yes.
Despite politicians. So, and I wanted to hip y'all to kindness.org.
Yes.
They are on a mission to educate and inspire people to choose kindness. It's a website. They have all kinds of resources and challenges and, my stats, y'all. Did you know that kindness can help prevent disease?
Yes, I did know that.
Did you know that kindness improves the well-being of school-aged children? That makes sense.
Perfect sense.
Did you know that kindness can reduce the effects of stress?
Yes.
Did you know that kindness can lower your blood pressure? Did you know that kindness boosts emotional and mental well-being? Did you know that kindness makes leaders more respected?
Yes.
You hear that, folks? If you're kind, people are more receptive to you.
Crazy how that works.
Yeah. And did you know that kindness reduces social anxiety?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So, like I said, you will never regret being kind.
Because kindness is a joyful, happy, peaceful emotion. But carrying around all that angst and bitterness, I mean,
that about stuff that doesn't even concern you. That's a sad thing.
Yeah.
You're talking about, there are very few families that this will happen to. And I would think that we as a community would be able to rally around those that are going through this.
Yes.
And give them support and love and be allies to them. These kids, can you imagine going through this at that age? You're already going through a lot.
Listen,
and then you've got this on top of it. So if you're listening and you can talk to your kids about this issue so that they can rally around their schoolmates and
not be
doing
bullies
this.
And
sit with them in the lunchroom, walk them to class, be friends with them. As a parent, you are so proud when your kids share and where they're kind. My youngest son, they're grown. All my kids are grown now. I remember, picking him up and I don't know why I was in the classroom because usually I did carpool line, but for some reason I was actually in his room.
Okay.
And the teacher told me, we got a new kid at school and Connor has been so nice to him. And the kid had Tourette's syndrome.
Okay.
And, he had his little tics and things. And when he came, the mom brought him to school and told the class, what he had and how it manifests with him.
Mm-hmm.
And, he can't help it and all the things. And Connor befriended the kid. And, he never told me. And I remember we got home and I said, Connor, your teacher told me that you're friends with, and and he went on to tell me about what he had and that he couldn't help it. And he's a really nice kid. And do you know, they went on to be just best friends he was in grade school then all through high school.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it was so amazing. And I just felt such pride because I didn't have to pull him aside and say, there's a new kid coming, Connor, be nice to him.
Right.
He did that.
Right.
And that means that they did something right.
Yes.
And you will just never regret being kind.
Absolutely.
So you who, as like most of us, we won't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this.
No.
But there are some families that are.
Yeah.
So, if we can be a beacon of light for them and hope and kindness, let's do that.
And you reap what you sow, guys.
Yes.
I want to put that out there. I'm a window shopper of people's lives. I like to sit back. I don't comment much. Really, I don't ever comment. I don't share, but I watch. And I have known some people who could be really ugly and really mean girlish. And mean girls can be boys too. You got mean boys, mean girls. And I watch some of these catastrophes manifest in their life. And all I can think is, well, baby, you reap what you sow. And I never say anything. Again, I'm just a little.
I can think of one. I'm not going to say it because that's mean too.
I'm just a window shopper.
It comes back
and
around.
This is why kindness reduces all of these very mentally taxing and physically taxing ailments, because you're putting out good and good is coming back to you. So if you don't do it if you're doing it selfishly, if you're too selfish to be kind, for the sake of it, baby, you better be kind. So that's what comes back to your ass. That's what you better be doing. If you really, if you're not doing it for anything, but, I don't want anything bad coming back.
Right.
And I've seen that happen. I've seen people be nice, be bullied, and they are now, when I say making it, honey, they are the people who once teased them are hoping to shine their shoes. And I really do mean that. So just be kind. It's too easy. It's free. It's simple.
Yes.
It's simple.
And how scary to live in a state where you are fearful.
Yes.
That they're going to come for you.
My teacher could come for me.
Right.
My church could come for me. My
when
friend
you're just
could come
doing,
for me. My neighbor.
You're just trying to navigate a hard situation.
Yeah.
And doing what's best for your kid.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine.
I can't.
So we just want to
demonize something.
We just want to wrap our arms around you who are dealing with this and let you know that we are thinking of you.
Yes.
We are sending every best wish to you.
Yes.
We do not agree with this law.
No.
At all.
No.
And
my job is to help abuse children. My job is not to abuse parents and abuse political power.
Yes.
That's not what my job is.
Yes.
No, not
totally
not
agreed. So it's sad that we have to do.
It's really sad this episode is even necessary.
It is, but we just wanted to kind of let y'all know what's going on. If you don't live in Texas, it has been on the news. Yeah. And
you're probably laughing.
Most of us are just really ashamed
this is
about
not a
it.
representation of the state.
And aren't we the friendship state? I think we are. And that's just so sad. And for him to pit families against each other, one another, that is just really unconscionable to me.
Yeah.
That's the worst of it. I don't know, pass a law. Try you just do it on your own. Don't incite other people to do your dirty work for you.
As a supposed Christian.
So what did I say? Love God and love your neighbors. And sweep around your own front porch.
Let's love our neighbors.
That's what we need to be doing. This is not Christ-like in any way.
No, not at all.
So that's our soapbox, y'all. And we just, I don't even know what to say about it. It just floors me every time I think about it.
It's a necessary conversation.
So sad. But I want to give you some resources, y'all. If you are dealing with this, if you or someone you love is dealing with this, the ACLU. Now, of course, I was on the ACLU of Texas, but if you are in another state, you go to your local ACLU website. I guess you could go to the main one and they would direct you. But there's a whole toolkit about LGBTQ student rights.
Okay.
So there's some awesome resources here and information here. And they have listed for each community, each town, each county, resources, who you can contact if you need help with anything, if you need, if your rights have been violated, if you've had any trouble with this law, really. Okay. And if you live in another state, you might not have this law, but there's some other
there could be something else,
anti-LGBTQ laws in every state. It's so sad to say, but this is a great resource for you, the ACLU, and you can go on there, get those resources, talk to them, and they would just be of great, great help to you. There are some hotlines, some LGBTQ suicide prevention hotline is 1-800-273-8255. If you have a child that's struggling with their mental health that is an LGBTQ child or trans child, that would be a hotline for you. The Trevor Project has a lifeline, which is 1-866-488-7386. There is a trans lifeline, 1-877-565-8860. So those are some. And then when you get on the website, there's more. There are more resources and more information and contact numbers and websites, and they can direct you and get you the help and that you need.
Yeah, and find a village, whatever you do.
Yes,
find a village for yourself. Find a village so that you train up your kids in the right way, which includes kindness, which includes loving their neighbor.
To everybody.
Yes. Get a
kindness
village
to everybody.
And protect yourself and protect your children.
Yes.
I'm real big on that. Protect your children. It's not the state's job, to be honest. No. Protect your children at whatever cost that means. Yes. Protect your children.
And we trust that you are doing what's right for you and your kid.
Yeah.
And you know what's best. Yeah. I'm a firm believer of that, parent, your gut tells you what, we're not there in anyone's home. We don't know your kid. So we want to get you the resources into the right place because we trust that you know what's right for your kid.
Yes.
And we want to help you get them the help and the resources that they need.
Yes, in the kindest way possible.
Yes, sure. Yes. So we still have to do Sexiest Man Alive.
I need it now.
Yeah. So you know who I'm gonna pick?
Who?
I'm gonna pick Beto O'Rourke, who is running
that dorky little guy does it for
governor.
Me. Yeah, he is.
And
he does it for me.
I don't know what I love Beto.
There's a picture of him. He was eating ice cream, and I was like, oh, I really just love tall, skinny, nerdy men. Yes. Like, this is it. Yeah, no,
he's cute.
I have no idea why. He does it for my sister. And he's kind.
And he's kind. And he would not pass this atrocious law.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm giving him 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, he actually,
you want to share him this week?
Tall, skinny, and smart. It's just, there's something about it.
Yeah, that's
so
sexy.
I actually have
Oh, you have one? Okay,
I know, right? Dave Chappelle.
Oh, yeah.
And, he had a lot of debate about trans comments in his most recent comedy, stand-up recorded comedy. And I love Dave and I didn't want to hate him. So I had to go back and watch it and listen. And I was reminded, you have to listen to everything for yourself because you people can cherry pick some words and twist it, and what you think it is not what it is and all that. But I love Dave Chappelle. I just do. He's funny. He's kind.
Did you feel like when you went back and saw it, it wasn't as bad as what they had said?
The trans woman who had lost her life, her family supported her and endorsed this comedy skit.
Oh, okay.
And so if you listen to what he said, it was not harmful. And I can't even, at this point, Dave Chappelle is Dave Chappelle. Like, there's no need to explain cultural with Dave Chappelle. There's no need to explain the way he joked. He's Dave Chappelle. If you've ever heard Dave Chappelle, you know who he is. That's like being shocked if Samuel L. Jackson says motherfucker. Like, how could you be shocked? This is Samuel L. Jackson. So I listened to it, and I remember kind of being clammy because I'm like, I love Dave Chappelle, and I don't want to hate you, but if you're making like misogynistic type ugly comments, I can't back you. And I'm listening to it.
Or transphobic.
And his whole point was, this person had to deal with the damn straight community and the trans community coming against it. And that was what he was highlighting.
Okay.
That was the whole thing. And so I was like, oh, thank God I can still love you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dave Chappelle, because he wasn't afraid to do that. Even though people were,
he got pushback.
He got big pushback. Take him off Netflix. Do this, do that. But he wasn't afraid to do it. He wasn't afraid to say, all of you should be ashamed of yourselves. And that's a bold move for a Black comedian. Even in 2022, it is, And so Dave Chappelle is tall, skinny, black, and funny. So
Okay.
he still falls into my
tall, skinny.
He's not
lanky.
as skinny as he used to be.
He's
Actually,
kind of nerdy too.
He is a nerd.
Yeah,
he's a total nerd.
Kind of nerdy.
He's a nerd, but he's not as skinny as he used to be. But we can't keep everything. He's my guy.
Yeah,
that's mine.
Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in today, you guys, and we appreciate you. If you have any comments, please hit us up and let us know what your thoughts about this. Yeah. And
we're going to be kind, and we hope you are too.
Yes, that's what we're going to do, and we're going to stay on our porch.
Baby, I got a lot of sweeping to do, so I'm not getting on anyone else's. Until next time, guys.